So, welcome to another reading of Lord Mayhare. We're on page 2902, chapter title Manjri Maafi, and the year is 1950. Vishnu had come to Harawala station to receive Baba. Pendu saw Baba and Vishnu off in a tonga to Manjri Maafi, and Pendu then returned to Motichur. As instructed, Erich, Baidul, Gustaji, Alaba, and Satyapal returned to Manjri 2 days later. Thus the Kumbh Mela work came to an end. When Baba returned to Manjri he had a bad cough, 100-degree fever, heaviness in the eyes, pain in the stomach, and a severe backache. Nilu described his condition as follows. When Baba entered our cottage upon his arrival, I immediately perceived the nervous exhaustion and weakness of his constitution. He looked tired and overworked, and while walking, he appeared to drag his feet. He sat on my bed and then inquired of Kaka's, Vishnu's, and Kaikobad's health. While making inquiries, he was coughing frequently. Though he was not in good health, his face was lustrous, and his eyes were brilliant. His face looked so beautiful and charming that our eyes refused to look anywhere else. The whole atmosphere was vibrating and pulsating with different emotions and feelings in our hearts. Baba complained of body ache and weakness. The treatment by Nilu, Dawn, and Goher alleviated Baba's symptoms to some extent, but the body ache persisted. On Sunday, 9 April 1950, Mera suggested light massaging and a hot bath. These were provided, and Baba's pain diminished. As age explains, Meher Baba's discomfort was not only attributable to his hard work and exertion, but also to the taking upon himself the load of sanskaras of others while engaged in this or any type of work. This load added to his burden and affected his physical body. Even giving darshan to his lovers and the public caused a strain upon his health and brought excruciating suffering. The Avatar's darshan was not merely meeting people, it was taking upon himself their load of impressions. To take the Avatar's darshan is to transfer our load of sanskaras unto him. Now, I guess this is age continuing. Quote, in India, there are many so-called saints and Mahatmas who give darshan to thousands. But what is to be gained by their darshan? It is a darshan in word only. The meaning of darshan is that the Divine Master takes upon himself the good and bad impressions of those who come to him and seek his help. Yet he himself has to suffer by cleaning these human Ogian stables filled with the accumulated filth of ages of lifetimes in illusion. Age continues. Age was in tears as it witnessed the beloved's Kumbh Mela work in 1950 and the consequent suffering it brought him. Yet it was honored to record for posterity the Avatar's grueling labor of love. The work done, quote, the work done by Mayhare, unknown to the world and in complete silence, is for the universe. It is not mere teaching. Repeat that. It is not mere teaching. It will electrify every heart and soon light will surely replace the darkness. A picture of Baba reclining with his feet in the air, Dehradun, 1950. Meanwhile, Pendu and Murli had brought to Motichur Raja the English bull, harnessed to pull the bullock cart. Baba wanted the bull to be given to a Goshala, a cowyard, to be bred. Kumar, who happened to be in Motichur at the time, suggested that it should be given to Miraben, Mahatma Gandhi's English disciple, who was running such an institution nearby. It was named Pashulok, meaning animal world. Baba agreed and asked Pendu to stop at Miraben's place on his way to Manjri Mafi. Pendu accordingly visited Miraben's vivarium near Motichur. She was willing to accept Raja, even though they had stopped using English bulls for breeding purposes. Pendu asked her to send someone to Manjri Mafi to take Raja away on the 10th, and she consented. Pendu and Murli returned to Manjri Mafi on Sunday, 9 April 1950. But the next day, no one from Miraben's place came for the bull. After a few days, Baba sent Kumar to Miraben. She explained that she would not be able to accept Raja after all. Kumar was then asked to give Raja away in the name of the 4 women companions to whom Raja belonged. Kumar presented it to another institution on the 14th, and the bullock cart was sold. Baba wished to hold a meeting with the companions, and he arrived at their quarters at precisely 7 a.m. on 11 April. Dawn had also been called from Dehradun. The atmosphere was tense as the companions took their seats around Baba. Baba himself was very serious as he started the meeting, stating with a grave and solemn expression, "I feel that every one of you in Plan 3 is trying his best to carry out the conditions 100%. I am also definitely confident that 60% of my old life habits are gone for good, but I feel that 40% of them are still persisting. Therefore, I naturally cannot send any one of you away from me, or all of you away from me unasked, or with fault, or direct you to adopt any of plans 1 and 2. Carry out Plan 3 seems impossible under the present conditions, due to the gulf that exists between you and me in the matter of understanding while executing the conditions of Plan 3. For example, the incident that took place between Baidul and myself on April 1st in Motichur will throw light on what I am trying to point out. Baba proceeded to ask Erich to narrate the incident that had taken place. On the morning of the 1st, Baba and the companions had left their cottage unusually early at 3 a.m. Keki Desai had also accompanied them. Baba's work that day centered on a few ashrams and camps, which had purposely been omitted so that they would be full of sadhus on pilgrimage when Baba visited them. The sadhus were expected to assemble there before the 2nd of April, in time for the lunar eclipse. Baidul, whose duty was to lead Baba to these places, took him to one of the camps. Not many sadhus had yet gathered there. intending to come back later, Baidul tried to persuade Baba to go to another area. But Baba, wishing to stay, asked Baidu why he had adopted the method of hurrying through the work, as he had done in the old life. And he kept repeating this. At one point, Baidul remarked to Pendu that Baba had been teasing and pestering him since morning. Overhearing this, Baba asked Baidul whether this wasn't criticizing him. Baidul replied that he was simply, quote unquote, informing Pendu of how Baba had lost his mood that morning. Baba asked Erich if Baidul's statement did not amount to criticism. Erich's opinion was that according to his way of thinking, Baidul was merely telling Pendu a fact. It could not be called criticism, but a piece of information which conveyed Baba's mood that morning. Erich's reply annoyed Baba even more, and he lost his temper. He stated that in criticizing him to Pendu, Baidul was at fault. But that was not what vexed him. He felt thoroughly upset, and his mood was spoiled because he was disappointed that even at this stage of the new life, the companions had not yet fully understood all the conditions of Plan 3. Baba further stated that if the companions took Baidul's remarks as merely a piece of information, why did they previously blame Ghani, Adi, Nilu, and Dawn for criticizing him? This situation was taken as a difference of understanding and as such could not be tolerated because Baba wanted to be completely free of his old life habits. At this juncture, Baba detested such behavior and attitudes because they reminded him of the old life, which he had given up. He added that he might be at fault, and the companions might be right, but where there was a difference of opinion, there would always be a clash and a cause for him to be displeased. And if he became excited, he would either remain quiet about it, which would compromise his oath, or he would vent his feelings of anger, which would not be in accordance with the new life conditions. In conclusion, Baba came to the decision that there was no alternative other than to dissolve Plan 3 so that there would be no day-to-day orders and no interference from him. Those under Plan 3 might be trying 100%, still, there being an obvious difference of understanding between Baba on the one hand and the companions on the other, there would always be a risk of Baba compromising for the sake of his companions or becoming annoyed or upset. Also, according to the explanation of Plan 3 given to the companions a month before, on 1 March, Baba ought not to have questioned nor corrected Baidul, whether Baidul criticized him or not, much less lost his temper. In conclusion, it seemed impossible to continue Plan 3 if his oath was to be preserved 100%. Therefore, Baba decided to discontinue the plan without dissolving it. He clarified that if he wished to take anyone in the new life under Plan 3 in the future, in parentheses, outside the old and new life, he could do so. When Erich finished this account of events, Baba stated, I repeat that if I see any mistake on your part, which from your point of view may not be a mistake, I must either be indifferent to it, which would be against my oath, or I must send you away, which would be doubly wrong. Because I myself have not yet overcome my old life habits 100%. Therefore, until March 1, I had to take a middle course of correcting mistakes. This used to make me annoyed and so jeopardized my oath. I am firm in upholding my oath, even if all my companions leave me. Therefore, today I have definitely decided that from May 1, none of you should remain in Plan 3. I shall remain alone to carry out the 3 phases of the new life under the 3rd plan. Marvin, could you unmute?
And I order you all, the companions of Plan 3 and those of Plan 1B, to join a new plan which will enable you to earn your livelihood and yet allow you to stay in one group near me. I shall provide this group with the capital on loan for starting this new plan and business for maintenance. This new plan is a, quote, temporarily restricted B group plan and will revert to the original plan 1B when the loan of rupees 16,000 is repaid to me. My help in the form of guidance and influence shall be given as far as possible to make this new plan a success. I shall also help, if necessary, in securing business and residence for all and jobs for some of the companions of this new plan. Baba then explained to the companions that staying at Mandri Mafi was impractical during the monsoon, and therefore he was planning to shift to Delhi. For this purpose, he had sent Keki Desai to Delhi with the following instructions. Call Kishan Singh, Harjiwan Lal, and Wasdeo Kane, and Toddy Singh, and tell them that Baba wants a place of residence in Delhi and that they should help you in securing the same. But while doing so, they should not have the idea of service done for Baba as their guru or Sadguru, but only with the intention of helping someone who loves them. And in return for that love, a sort of help is given. Also, they should not expect that owing to this help to Keki in finding bungalows, there would be any chance for them to see Baba, come in his contact, or have correspondence with him. If any one of them is the owner of the bungalow selected, then Baba will pay a reasonable rent, which the owner must accept, so there may not be a chance of any sort of boja, financial indebtedness, on Baba in this new life. No sooner this work of securing bungalows at Delhi is completed, they should not involve themselves any further in helping Baba unless otherwise ordered by him to do so. In short, no seeing Baba, no connections with him, and no correspondence when he resides at Delhi. They can, however, see or communicate with the companions staying with him. After hearing this new proposal, all the companions of Plan 3, along with Don, Kaka, and Gustaji, agreed to obey Baba and join the new plan. Don suggested that if Nilu joined him as a doctor, and Pendu and Murli served as their assistants in establishing a large clinic in Delhi, there would be a possibility of maintaining the companions in this way. Baba seemed to like the idea and stated Don's idea would be kept pending until the companions had sufficient funds to establish such a medical clinic, which would be a source of livelihood for all concerned. When the meeting was ended, Baba turned to Murli Kali, and before everyone praised him for his consistently exemplary behavior in conforming to the conditions of the new life. From among all the companions, Baba stated that Murli alone had managed to remain cheerful throughout all the ups and downs faced so far. Baba folded his hands to Murli in recognition of his merits. The meeting ended at 11 o'clock that morning, and Baba departed. The men agreed that Murli had indeed managed to fulfill the new life conditions. Once, when they had been traveling by bus, Baba told the companions to get down and come by the next bus, which they did. At the bus stand, Murli saw his sister. In obedience to the conditions, he turned his face and walked away without speaking to her. The next day he received a telegram that his sister had died. Even then he kept up a cheerful appearance. According to the conditions, Erich was doing his utmost to fully carry out Baba's behests by being alert and cautious in obeying Baba's orders. But not a single day would pass without some unavoidable mishap in the daily management of household affairs, and Erich would have to submit himself to Baba's severe criticism and scolding on one pretext or another. Erich would always placidly admit his faults, and so one day Baba threatened him. I will throw up my hands with you and everything if you do not stop mechanically saying it was your fault and asking for forgiveness. Despite Erich's admitting to his own alleged mistakes, Baba was annoyed by this even more, and Erich was blamed again. It was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. There was no escape. In this path, a sword hangs over the heads of those for whom the Master has special love. Treading the path is like walking on the narrow edge of a cliff, and only experience could convey what this feeling is like. It was quite cold at Mandri Mafi and Matachur due to the lack of proper clothing and diet, remaining only on dal and chapatis once a day. Both the men and women companions' health gradually deteriorated. All sorts of ailments began plaguing them. Pendu had pleurisy and pain in the chest, Erich lumbago and a sprained foot that was becoming chronic, Murli a broken wrist weakened further by the labor, Vishnu a crippling rheumatic knee, Nilu sciatica and left knee joint trouble due to his duty of carrying water, Alaba, physically weakened by severe fatigue caused by fever, carrying loads of water, and other hard work. Kaka, a heart condition. Baidul, aches and pains throughout his body. Gustaji, his old age and increasing weakness. Mani, fever and cough developing into bronchitis. And the youngest woman, Meheru, was also sick. Yet Baba expected the companions to remain cheerful and appear happy, even when feeling rotten. One day Baba dictated, especially in regard to Saint Francis. Why were the saints saints? Because they were cheerful when it was difficult to be cheerful, and patient when it was difficult to be patient. And because they pushed on when they wanted to stand still, kept silent when they wanted to talk, and were agreeable when they wanted to be disagreeable. That was all. It was quite simple, and always will be. April 13, 1950 was the most significant day of the Kumbh Mela, when hundreds of thousands of different sects of sadhus and mahatmas were to form into processions and march to the Ganges River to bathe in the sacred water. The men and women companions had never before witnessed the event. Baba therefore arranged for them to stay at Hardwar on that day. On Wednesday, 12 April, Baba left Mandri Mafi in a station wagon with the women companions, Mera, Mani, Meru, and Goher, Naja, Kumar's wife Subhadra, and Franny Nalavala. Subhadra brought her newborn daughter, Amrit, but she was concerned that if the baby cried, it would be a nuisance to Baba. But no. I don't see it.
Kumar's daughter Amrit would later marry Baba's brother Adi Jr.'s son, Dara, in 1968, a month before Baba dropped his body.
Oh, I was wondering if that was the Amrit. Surprisingly, the infant did not cry even once. Erich, Kumar, and the Mahant's servant boy, Dilip, went to Hardwar by train and all stayed in Sarchand Gohal's large house. The rest of the companions and Keki Nalavala, Eltra Mistry, and Bujar Chacha came the following day. Upon their arrival, Baba remarked to them, I and the women had absolutely no sleep last night, as there was such a great din and noise going on outside the whole night. This time, Erich was chosen to bring water from the Ganges, with which Baba bathed that morning, the 13th. Baba also gave instructions for the leftover water to be poured back into the Ganges. After his bath, instructing all the companions to stand before him in a line, Baba asked Don to read out the following prayer. May God forgive us all, companions in the new life, for any mistakes committed consciously or unconsciously towards him or towards each other. I forgive you, companions, wholeheartedly for any mistake done to me, and ask forgiveness of you if I have in any way hurt your feelings. On behalf of myself and you, companions of the new life, I ask God to forgive us if conditions of the new life have been consciously or unconsciously broken. For myself, I ask God to give me strength to stick to my oath to the very end and fulfill all conditions of the new life 100% with His help. When Don finished the invocation, Baba touched the feet of each man. As age recorded, the beloved's face was aglow and his eyes were burning bright. He was dedicating the new life for the guidance of the world. By doing so, mankind will one day go beyond this life and reach a point, an end in which lies a new beginning, and where at that point, end and beginning unite to become beginningless and endless. Quote, this new life is the Avatar's greatest boon to mankind, and by living this life, the seeker attains the unattainable. This new life will always be new. For pilgrims on the path, it is the way to emancipation. End quote. That was from Age. Baba's darshan was forbidden at this time, but Keshav Nigam of Hamapur was longing for it. Keshav knew that Baba was to attend the Kumbh Mela. He did not wish to go against Baba's order, but he went to Hardwar nonetheless, along with Baba Das, thinking he would at least have a glimpse of the master there. As Don was reciting the prayer, Keshav was bathing nearby in the waters of the Ganges, glancing up at Gohal's residence. When the prayer was over and Baba had touched the feet of each man, Baba suddenly took the companions to the balcony that overlooked the Ganges. At that moment, Keshav looked up and saw the sun make its appearance from behind a small chink in the clouds. Keshav glanced at Baba. None had any idea why Baba went so suddenly out on the terrace. They thought perhaps he wanted to point out the sea of humanity converging on the Ganges. They did not know that at that moment, Keshav Nigam was not only bathing in the waters of the Ganges, but drinking in the joy of Baba's darshan. After some time, Baba asked the men to go out and see the processions and then return to Manjri Mafi. He instructed them to stay near each other so that no one would get lost in the sea of humanity. Baba was to return to Manjri Mafi with the women the following day. An estimated 1.5 million pilgrims had gathered in Hardwar that day. Nothing was to be seen in the heat and clouds of dust except a mass of swarming humanity, with the chief sadhus or mahatmas riding elephants. A procession of painted, naked sadhus began, but there was such a frenzied, rushing throng. The companions soon directed their steps to the railway station, where they were startled to see Baba waiting with the women. Baba explained that he and the women too could not properly see the processions from their bungalow, so they had decided to return. Sansar Chand and his brother had promised to show them the processions, but failed to keep their promise, which greatly displeased Baba. Before leaving for the station, however, Baba humbly touched Sansar Chand's and his brother's feet, seeking their forgiveness for getting upset. The train was overcrowded, but when they reached Dehradun, they arrived in Manjri Mafi at midnight. Meanwhile, the next day, back in Hardwar, Parmeshwari Dayal Nigam, who was Pukar, his maternal uncle Bhavani Prasad Nigam, and Raisaheb Ramashankar had a strange experience. They had also come to the Kumbh Mela from Hamapur. When they found out where Baba was staying, they went to the bungalow. From a distance, they saw Baba walking on the upper floor of the house. But when they neared it, no one was there. They inquired and were informed that Baba had already left the day before. They could not accept this, for they believed they had seen Baba a short while ago. They were escorted round the house, and at last, dumbfounded, they were convinced Baba was not present. Parmeshwari Nigam, 31, was an Indian communist leader who had been critical of Baba and had no faith in him yet. He intended to expose Baba as a fraud, but the mysterious sight that met his eyes changed his life. One communist, an avowed atheist, Kumar, had already surrendered his life to Baba. Now the second communist was destined to play an important role in Baba's future work.
Thank you, Marvin. Ralph, could you unmute and continue reading?
That same morning, Friday, 14th April, 1950, entering the companion's hut at 7 o'clock, Baba warned, everyone should remain cheerful under all conditions and circumstances, and should never lose their temper or get annoyed. Turning to Erich, he asked, would you feel bad if news were received that your mother had died? Erich said, according to the conditions of Plan 3, I should not and would not feel anything for anyone. Baba asked Murli, if your father passes away, how would you feel? Smiling, Murli replied, I would not feel anything. Let him go. Baba then questioned Vishnu and got the same answer. Baba, however, confronted Vishnu. Are you telling the truth? Remember, to tell a lie or give vague answers is forbidden in the new life. Vishnu replied, I would not feel anything if news of the death of my mother, Kakubai, were received. Baba then gently revealed to him, yesterday, Donkin showed me a telegram sent by Adi Sr. about Kakubai's death in Mehrabad at 6:15 p.m. on the 11th. These words had no effect on Vishnu, and he went on answering Baba's questions in a normal tone of voice, calmly and serenely. Baba then remarked, Donkin ought not to have given me the news concerning people in the old life whom I have left behind. Then, after embracing Vishnu, Baba addressed the companions. Vishnu is courageous, and though his mother was old, 62, and ill at the time, he did not think of staying with her, but said yes, and came away with me in the new life. After this incident, Vishnu left for Dehradun on a bicycle to do the women's marketing, and Baba praised his steadfastness. Kakubad had been in Baba's contact from the very early days of the Pune toddy shop in Kasbapet. From the beginning, she would address Baba as Deva, God. In those days, Baba would visit her house at any odd time and ask for rice and dal. Kakubad used to keep it ready, as Baba was always in a hurry and would not allow her time to cook it. By coming to her house almost every day, Baba had captured Kakubad's heart. She moved permanently to Mehrabad in 1925 and there dropped her body. Our salutations to you, dear Kakubad. Age declared. I again pronounced incorrectly once or twice. Kakubad.
Gene, the sidebar says 14 April 1950 was also the day that the great sixth plane saint Ramana Maharshi died in South India. Baba had always spoken highly of Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah. Kakubad's cremation was held at Mehrabad the same day at 11 p.m. Kakubai's cremation was held at Mehrabad the same day at 11 p.m. The next day, Baba cautioned Donkin, from now on, do not give me any news relating to anyone in the old life. Even if someone has died, do not inform me unless and until I ask you, if the occasion arises. To the companions, he commented, Adi Sr. loves his mother, Gulmai, dearly, and Vishnu also loved his mother dearly, but there is a world of difference between their love and their mothers in relation to staying with me.
Oh, excuse me. World of difference between their love for their mothers in relation to staying with me.
Sorry.
No
But
problem.
there is a world of difference between their love for their mothers in relation to staying with me. Vishnu's heart is brave, as he chose to stay with me, while Adi chose plan 1C. At 7 o'clock on the morning of the 15th, Baba came to the companion's hut, where he held a meeting to discuss the possibility of his traveling to America. One day, I expect a cable telegram to arrive from Elizabeth, inviting me to the West this year. At the same time, there is also a probability that Elizabeth may desire to come in July of 51 instead of 1950. In case I go to the West this year, I will have to take some of you. Those who accompany me on their return from the West will rejoin the companions in the new plan. Those who accompany me on their return from the West will rejoin the companions of the new plan who stayed back in India. When I take some of you to the West, I will take you with your consent, as I have determined not to interfere with you or give you any orders, but with your consent I shall take a promise from you that you will obey me in every respect during your stay with me in the West. In short, Baba concluded, if I decide to go to the West in July, I shall ask some of the companions in May to accompany me. Depending upon whether they agree to promise to obey me there, I shall also help Baba. In short, Baba concluded, if I decide to go to the West in July, I shall ask some of the companions in May to accompany me, depending upon whether they agree to promise to obey me there, period. I shall also help those who stay behind in India in securing residences and jobs. On Sunday, 16 April 1950, Erich and Keki Desai were sent to Delhi to find accommodations for the companions at a reasonable rent, suitable to all the purposes of the new plan, as well as to look for a residence for Baba and the women. The sky continued to be cloudy and the weather chilly. Baba complained about it, remarking, since October 16, 1949, cold weather, icy winds, and rains have persisted and are stubbornly pursuing me and my companions in the new life. Baba's health was breaking down. He suffered from back and neck aches, coryza, Coryza, which is inflammation of the nasal mucous membranes, similar to a bad head cold, and a cough. To add to this troubled situation, the next day, Baba informed the companions that all of the women except Mira were suffering from influenza. They were crowded into one tiny 3-room cottage, and as a result, the infection had spread. Baba also reminded the women to remain cheerful and amiable with one another. Soon after, Vishnu fell ill with a high fever, and Nilu was instructed to take over his duties of going to Dehradun for purchases in the bazaar. The well water stank worse than ever, so drinking water now had to be carried from a considerable distance. In Nilu's opinion, this stinking water was an additional cause to the deterioration of everyone's health. As Nilu wrote, lack of proper food, clothing, sufficient quality of good water, of hygiene, the privations, starvation diet, physical and mental tensions, and exhaustion due to strenuous labor, coupled with continuous chilly, windy, wet, monsoonish weather during the 6 months of the new life had run down Baba's and his companions' health. Age also noted. With their health nearly ruined, it was indeed proving to be a life of helplessness and hopelessness. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Previously in Sarnath, Baba had discussed with the companions the possibility of calling anyone to join the new life. He had also laid down conditions for accepting any Baherna, outsider, in the new life, stating, any Baherna who of his own accord offers to join and whom I find 100% fit may join the new life by majority vote of the companions. Because of the severity of the conditions, only men were eligible, and they were to be called new life, new companions. Later, of course, new revised plans were made and other plans discarded. But one of the old life devotees who took this idea to heart was Gustaji's nephew, Rustam Sorab Hansotia, 35, who had first met Baba in 1944 at Mirzad. After thoroughly studying and pondering over Baba's circular, Hansotia decided to join Baba in the new life. He had a good job in the railway department at Ratlam. After quitting it, he arrived in Manjri Mafi on the morning of 18 April 1950. Pendu met him in the compound and explained that Baba was not giving interviews or granting darshan to anyone. Hansotia said that he knew all that because he had memorized all the conditions and different plans. But he was firm in his resolve to join the new life that very day. Pendu informed Baba, who advised, tell him I will be holding a meeting of the companions by the end of April, when the whole new life situation and other developments will be discussed. Rustam's case will be considered. Meanwhile, he should go back to his home and await my decision, which will be mailed to him along with my instructions. Adamant, Hansotia was reluctant to accept this so easily and argued with Pendu. Pendu urged him again and again to obey Baba. Hansotia then expressed his desire to see Baba, just a glimpse of his face, even from a distance. Pendu informed Baba, who came out and waved to him from a distance, and Hansotia then returned to his home in Ratlam. Shatrughna Kumar was now accepted as should be probably just as one of the men companions, and was permitted to see Baba often. On the 20th, he came with Jamnadas, the Mahant of the village. Baba explained to them, for you both, I feel a sort of responsibility of love. In the new life, I am not meeting anyone except you, Nalavala, Chacha, Desai, Virendra, and Elcha, and it is only to you and them that I give my personal contact. Baba then asked the Mahant, would you sincerely and faithfully carry out 2 instructions I give you? Jamnadas assured Baba he would. Then don't worry in the least about your permanent release from prison until the very last minute of your going back to prison on 17 June. And every night before going to bed, offer this heartfelt prayer. O God, I leave my fate in your hands. The Mahant had been sentenced to prison for shooting and killing 2 villagers during a dispute, but had been granted a temporary parole because he was ill, suffering from tuberculosis. Jamnadas agreed to follow these 2 orders, and Baba added, I feel inwardly that if you obey these instructions faithfully, God will not fail you. Jamnadas derived courage from Baba's words. Afterwards, Baba remarked to him, from now on, you should accept it that your connection with me in the new life will not continue. To Kumar, Baba observed, I feel that in the future I might have connection with you in the new life until the end, but I can't promise. And in parentheses, the day Baba left Dehradun, 14 June 1950, an order was received from the government that the Mahant had been permanently released from prison. It was Baba who broke the good news to him, and he attributed it all to Baba's Nazar. More meetings were held on the 21st and 22nd of April to discuss the new changes which would come into effect on 1 May. From the 25th, Baba's mood lightened, and he began playing badminton, gilli danda, and cricket in the mornings with Nilu, Kumar, and the other men. Erich arrived that day and reported on the preparatory work being done in Delhi. At 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday, 26 April 1950, the companions gathered for a meeting with Baba in which the possibility of starting a business in Delhi was discussed. In the end, Baba came to the following decisions, which comprised the new plan. 1. On May 1, 1950, I and all the companions of Plan 3 On May 1, 1950, I and all the companions of Plan 3 will go out begging for the last time in Dehradun before dissolving Plan 3 companionship. 2. By the evening of May 1, I shall order the companions of Plan 3 and Plan 1B to join the new plan as one group. Consequently, Don will close his clinic in Dehradun on May 1. 3. All the companions of the new plan group will strictly abide for all times by all the fixed conditions of plans 1 and 2. There will be no day-to-day orders, nor any interference from my side other than the fixed restrictions. Number 4. On behalf of the temporarily restricted B group companions and original Plan 1B and Plan 1C and Plan 2 companions, I will do the 3 phases of begging, Langodi life, and gypsy life alone. And on my behalf, all the new life companions will do the labor phase. 5. Kaikoba Dastur is in the new life, and remaining as such in the same. He will stay and eat with the new plan group. He will also get pocket expenses, as will the new plan group companions. He will not be asked by the companions to do any work. He will do his own usual work. And the sidebar says, Kaikobad's sole work was to repeat Baba's name 100,000 times per day by silently saying, Baba, Baba, Baba. He kept count on his fingers. Number 6, Sadashiv Patil will be in the new plan group, but I permit him to stay at his own residence in Pune without taking any maintenance or pocket expenses from the new plan group. Marvin.
Let me unmute. Oh, good. Here we go. He can, however, join the new plan group anytime he likes, as long as he stays away from the companions of the new plan group. Sadashiv will strictly abide by the original fixed conditions of Plan 1B. 7. The following 11 members will be in the new plan group: Alaba, Baidul, Donkin, Erich, Gustaji, Kaka, Murli, Nikant, Nilu, Pandu, Sadashiv, and Vishnu. 8. Keki Desai will take part in the new plan business, and for his services he will be paid rupees 300 per month from June 1st, 1950. His stay with the group is left to his discretion. 9. On May 1st, 1950, I shall place at the disposal of the new plan group rupees 16,000 as a loan, which should be repaid as soon as possible. 10. This amount of rupees 16,000 will be spared from the amount of the balance of the new life amount that was with Meherji and Naraman, and from the amount of the sale proceeds of the Mandri Mafi property. 11. The new plan group will maintain themselves from this loan of rupees 16,000 and also manage in arranging their business and livelihood according to the definite instructions given by me under points mentioned hereunder. These instructions and restrictions will become null and void as soon as the loan of rupees 16,000 is repaid in full. Thereafter, the companions will have complete freedom to do any business, maintain themselves, and rearrange their household affairs and so forth by majority vote. 12. Kaka is to keep all the money, including the earnings, etc., and keep the accounts. He will also be the household manager. 13. Alaba is to assist Kaka by taking charge of the kitchen. 14. Gustaji will never have any work. 15. Erich and Baidul will be considered as engaged by the ladies for doing Baba's personal work, and each will be paid rupees 50 per month by the ladies. When either of them has no work, they will help in the management of the business by assisting Pandu, Nilu, Don, and Murli. Vishnu services will be engaged by the ladies for rupees 50 per month. 17. Out of the loan of rupees 16,000, only rupees 5,000 is to be exclusively for business. 18. Out of the net profit of the new plan group business, 25% will be given to the ladies, and the remaining 75% to be kept aside and not to be utilized for any purpose except for repaying the loan of 16,000. As soon as the loan is repaid, 25% of the net profit from the business will not be paid to the ladies. The whole profit will then be the cash on hand for the companions of the original Plan 1B group. 19. Out of the amounts sent to me by the companions of Plans 1C and 2, I will give 25% to the ladies, and 75% will be added to the net profit deposit of the new planned group business until such time as the new loan is repaid. As soon as the loan is repaid, the total of 75% thus deposited will not be paid to you by me, because automatically the temporarily restricted B group plan will become the original B1B group, Plan 1B group. 20. Erich, Vishnu, and Baidul's salaries and the sale proceeds of Don's clinic furniture are to be added to the net profit deposit of the new plan group business until such time as the loan is repaid. 21. Whenever I need money, I will take either from the ladies or from the new plan group, according to whoever can best afford it. 22. You must not communicate with, nor meet, nor keep in touch, directly or indirectly, with any old life walla or new life companions of Plan 1C or Plan 2, without my permission, until this new plan group automatically becomes the original Plan 1B group after repaying the loan of rupees 16,000. The Delhi and Dehradun residents and Mr. Tati Singh of Aligarh are exceptions to this order. 23. Companions of the new plan group are to leave Mandri Mafi permanently for Delhi on May 10th, and at Delhi start a business by investing rupees 5,000 for a ghee factory with the help of Tati Singh and the Delhi group. In addition to this business, all of you can also do any side business which does not need any investment and keeps the spirit of the new life. For the first 3 months, from May 10th, the new plan group will accommodate themselves at Kegi Desai's flat. 25. For the first 3 months, I and the ladies will stay at Dehradun from May 10th in the bungalow where Don's dispensary was operating. 26. Don is to take away all his belongings together with the clinic equipment to Delhi on May 10th. 27. Vishnu and Baidul will stay with me at Dehradun for the ladies' work and my work, respectively. After a month, Baidul will go to Delhi and Erich will come from there to stay with me for my work. 28. From August 1st, 1950, the ladies, I, and the companions will stay in Delhi in the Rohtak Road building, which is expected to be completed by that time. The rent for the accommodation of all will be paid by the new plan group companions. The ladies will pay rupees 100 per month as their share. 29. For any item of business done, such as ghee, butter, etc., if required by the household management of either the ladies or the men companions, the money for it must be paid fully without consideration. 30. For companions' personal petty expenses, each companion should be paid 10 rupees a month from May. 31. The diary is to be stopped from May 1st, 1950. Footnote.
Nilu was writing the diary since Ghani's departure.
32. Padre will be asked to bring all the necessary personal belongings of the new plan group companions to Delhi by May 15th. Footnote.
Adi Sr. and Meru Damania went to Mehrabad and packed the companions' luggage. The 28 pieces of unaccompanied baggage were dispatched by train to Keki Desai on 13 May 1950.
33. For your inheritance, property or money, if any coming directly or indirectly through your relatives or friends with the sole intent of making you the heir, without the remotest thought of transferring the same to me through your medium, should be given to me. 34. In order that it may go easy for the new plan group to repay the loan of rupees 16,000, I am fixing the following initial and recurring expenditures for the first 6 months, commencing from May 1st, 1950. Loans of rupees 16,000 handed over to Kakabaria on May 1st, 1950, to be utilized as follows. 2,585 food amount from May 1st to the end of October 1950. 300 already paid to the ladies for food of Vishnu and Baidul or Erich for May, June, July. 150 servants' salaries for 6 months. 660 pocket money at 10 rupees each for 6 months. 300 house rent with light and water bills for 6 months. 510 shop rent with light and water bills for 6 months. 4,340 Rotak building rent, bills, and commission to agents for 6 months from the date of occupation. 5,000 business investment. 1,000 moving costs from Manjri Mafi to Delhi. 1,000 to transport belongings of companions from Mehrabad to Delhi, and 155 for emergency. Total 16,000 rupees. Kaka is to keep aside for 6 months the following amounts, which will help early repayment of the loan of 16,000. Rupees 150 per month paid by the ladies as salary for Erich, Vishnu, and Baidul. Rupees 100 per month as rent paid by the ladies from August 1950. 75% net profit from the new plan group earnings. 75% of amounts sent by companions of Plan 1C and Plan 2. Whatever is saved from the allotted amounts of rent, relocating, luggage expense, savings, and Don's furniture sale.
Thanks, Marvin. Ralph, you want to squeeze in another page before Jonah comes? You're already unmuted.
Yeah. Oh, 36. As long as the temporarily restricted B group plan will be functioning, the group companions of the new life plan will be relying on their iman, faith belief, to abide by the original plan 1B, fixed conditions. But if any new plan group companion deliberately and consistently insists on not abiding by the fixed restrictions that I have formulated, and if this breach is carrying out the restrictions, and if this breach in carrying out the restrictions is brought to my notice, then I shall order that companion to leave the group, and he will be considered as having discontinued himself from both the new and the old line. 37. MESSRS.
I think that means like the plural of monsieur.
Monsieur.
Yeah, the French.
Messieurs Parjwan Lal, Kane, Kishan Singh, and Toddy Singh are permitted by me to associate with the new plan group to help them in one condition only, that they cannot contact or have correspondence with or meet the companions of Plan 1C or Plan 2 of the new life. 38. The companions of the new plan group are to take the help of Parjwan Lal, Wasdeo Kane, Kishan Singh, and Toddy Singh only if these four keep no contact with, have no correspondence with, nor meet the companions of Plan 1C or Plan 2 of the new life. 39. Although companions of Plan 1C and Plan 2 cannot communicate with me. They should only send their saved amounts and the New Life circulars to me addressed as Meher Baba, care of Nalavala, 36 Lighton Road, Dehradun, UP, Uttar Pradesh.
Thank you, Rolf. Let's stop here for today, and we'll pick it up next week in the middle of page 2919. Okay, I stopped the recording.
It's
Yes.
just